So with that, we will jump now into the communication model. That is the main topic for the day. Um, so what you see on the slide here is a representation of the NLP, or Neuro Linguistic Programming communication model. So what you see here is we as human beings, whenever an external event, whether it's somebody talking to us or we're seeing something, we're watching TV, wherever data input is coming into our brain, it goes through preset filters that we have created. Right from your childhood to your current day, your brain has accumulated tons of different ways of looking at things. It's a really very, very advanced computing system that, what our brains are. And they say that, there are five senses with about 2 million bits of info. So there's a lot of information that stays in our mind in the random access memory. So anything that happens, our brain uses that information that we have to process that. It also has certain filters, and we're going to talk about those filters quite a lot today. So something happens, it goes through this information, and then three main areas, the way the filters work, and we're going to talk a little more about it. So we generalize information, we distort, and we delete some of that information. And then it breaks into smaller chunks of information, and then it goes to the back of your head. And then you internalize it, and then it moves into action. So the example that we talked about earlier, this is a representation of that, right? That flow that we talked about. This is a little more detailed way of how this happens. Now, a lot of information processing that happens in our mind can happen because of various things, right? It could be because of values, right? What have we been taught since we were children? So they could be moral values. They could be your organizational values. They could be your personal values. It could also be a belief system, something that you have either from a society or by the religion you follow, or things that you have learned. Your mind has certain beliefs, and it believes things in a certain way. A lot of times you would, people see a rope lying on the road in the dark, but your mind kind of makes you think it's a snake, right? It's a rope, but maybe because of absence of light, maybe it's your fear for snakes, you think it's a snake, but it's really a rope. And then it could also be other things, for example, memories that you have of certain things. So they could be visual memories, they could be nasal as floral smells, or everybody remembers the first rain after summer, what it smells like, or a barbecue. We have memories that, so when we smell something similar, we know, something in our mind tells us, okay, these two things are associated. So a lot of interesting things happen inside of us, which are called meta programs. Other things could be decisions we've made in the past. A lot of times when things go wrong, a lot of times people panic because they are reminded of something that happened which had a negative outcome, and different people react to it in different ways. Also, people have different fears. For example, a lot of people have fear of heights, some people have fear of darkness, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot that actually happens inside our mind. So the NLP communication model is really based on understanding these filters and how can we change or adjust and shape our reality by understanding how we perceive it. Okay, so that is a little bit about the communication model at a high level.